What's going on, guys? I don't really have a plan or nothing for today, so honestly, I'm just gonna record myself talking. Or now I know what I'm gonna talk about. I have one thing I've been wanting to get off my chest. Well, not get off my chest. It's not like a secret or nothing. It's just like on my mind, you know. And I don't really have an outlet to let these things out, so why not just make it into a YouTube video? What I want to talk about is graduation, dude. What the fuck? So I just graduated high school. Well, I technically graduated back in January. I finished all my classes and then I just worked for a couple months, but the actual ceremony was a bit ago. And it's kind of dumb. It's I've never felt more kind of like belittled, and a word just doesn't come to mind for how it made me feel. It made me really I was just bitter. I feel like it put a lot of stress on parts of me that really didn't need to be stressed, you know? And the first thing, the biggest thing that I instantly recognized was the financial burden. The fact that I had to spend $100 on a cap and gown on, I'm pretty sure the website my school used is called Jolston's. And the website is so predatory and problematic that if you wanted to get just the cap and gown, not like an entire set with a bunch of useless shit like an extra tassel or like 25 empty envelopes that say you're graduating, I had to look up a YouTube tutorial on how to figure out how to order this, just the cap and gown, if I didn't want to spend the 200, or I think the most expensive one was like $400 on this useless extra stuff. I'm sure for some students, if their parents have more money, that's not an issue for them, but for me it is. My parents didn't buy my cap and gown. I bought my cap and gown with money that I worked for. Same thing with my tassels, same thing with my graduation outfit and everything. And so it just put such a sour taste in my mouth and really planted the idea in my brain that high school graduation is really just a sham for companies to make more money. And honestly, like, the more and more I think about it, the more and more it kind of adds up. Like, well, I don't want to sound like no conspiracy theorist, but like, it really is just belittling that I'm expected to have all these things that are seen as required when they don't benefit me. I finished high school back in January. I had all my credits. I should have gotten my diploma and I should have been done. And the ceremony isn't required. The only reason I did the ceremony was because my mom wanted me to. And my mom wasn't even there. She wasn't she said it was too hot, so she left early. And so I genuinely feel like I did all that for nothing. I genuinely feel like I spent all that money for nothing. And it really just it hurt. You know, like, it made, for a while after graduating, I felt completely meaningless. And like, my money was wasted. The cap and gown, by the way, the $100 cap and gown ripped when I put it on. You know, it's another part that really grinded my gears was our principal. I went to the same high school for 4 years. And in those 4 years, the only time I had a conversation with that principal was when I wore a Halloween costume on Halloween and it had some blood on it, some fake blood, blatantly obvious fake blood. And the only time I talked to her was her telling me that my costume had blood on it and that's bad. And that's it. I mean, I think that's pretty bad. I think it's pretty bad to go to school for 4 years and barely ever talk to your principal. And so to see her walk up on the stage and make the outrageous claim of like, oh, I've loved watching these students grow up right in front of me, felt even worse. I would have preferred if like a yard duty came up and said that, or like someone that was just more involved, but my principal at my school just was not. She was not involved. She was not there. I barely even knew her name. And for a reason I'll get into later, I actually tried to have a conversation with her the day before graduation, and she couldn't even have a one-on-one conversation with me. I couldn't even call her on the school's phone number because for some reason, and I've tried this on a couple occasions, when you start the phone call by prefacing that you're a student, they talk to you like you're stupid. It's like if you're anything younger than fossilized, the school system just thinks you're a brain dead, like senile, like I don't know. I'm trying to think of troglodyte. That's the word I'm thinking of. Troglodyte. They just treat you like you're a fucking idiot if you're anything younger than like turning into bones, dude. Like, and that was just really infuriating for me. And I guess I'll just get into it now. The reason I was trying to talk to the principal the day before graduation was I didn't get on the valedictorian list. Now that probably rings some bells. My school does things differently. A couple years ago, I don't know how many years ago, before I started there was this big event when a student's parent was very angry that their daughter didn't get valedictorian, and because the GPA difference was like very close, but they were second place. They just didn't get it. And the outcry that this father caused was so big that they changed it to where anyone with straight A's, or actually originally it was anyone with over a 4.0 would be valedictorian. And because they did that, there was 67 valedictorians in my class. I think we had a graduating class size of about 550. And it was so 67. I graduated with a 4.3 GPA. It was a little lower than what my goal was. I wanted to get a 4.5. And by the way, the GPA goes above 4.0 when you take AP classes. And I wasn't on the valedictorian list because in freshman year, I got a B plus in Math 1. It was an 89.86, which at my school, an 89.9 would have been an A minus. So because this teacher was unwilling to give me 0.04% on my grade, I lost out on being valedictorian. That's why I went to the school last minute, because when I tried reaching out over email or the phone, they either didn't take me seriously or they said, "Oh, you should have said something a month ago." But I graduated early. They never reached out to me about the valedictorian list. And so when I'm trying to get in contact with the principal in person, I find out that since I graduated early, when they go onto their portal and look at the class ranks of all the students, I'm not there because I'm an inactive student. So even though I had a 4.3, they glossed over me and forgot about me. And all of a sudden, all the work I put in, all the extracurriculars, all the straight A's, all the AP classes, all the teachers I befriended, everything I did was for nothing because they forgot about me. And I know that's a big thing to say, that it was for nothing, but I graduated early under the assumption that I would be on the valedictorian list. And it's not a big thing, I probably, first world problems, whatever. But I wanted to be in that group. I wanted some type of acknowledgement, because I did a lot of good things throughout high school, just most of them didn't qualify for awards or anything like that. And to get it taken away from me just because they forgot about me, I felt punished and more belittled than I ever have in my life. No, the most belittled I felt was when I tried to talk to the principal in person, and she couldn't even talk to me. She had her assistant listen to me, go into her office, tell her what I said, and then her assistant would tell me what her reply was. And before she would tell me her reply, she'd be like, "Oh yeah, I'm really interrupting her right now. I'm really getting into something." And Never in my life have I felt so little, so insignificant, and so stupid. And it was a good wake up call. I guess it's better to realize that the day before you graduate high school than like the day you start college, that you don't matter no matter what you do. You know, I don't matter. I'm just another white guy. And so to have something I work towards to kind of separate me from other people like me, to get that taken away because they forgot about me, was just so horrible. I don't know. I kind of lost my train of thought. Um, I'll touch on this another day. I guess I just wanted to tell that story and get it out there. If you want to keep this conversation going, I'll be streaming on Twitch later, I guess. Thanks for watching.